Welcome to our 24-hour readathon. Hey guys, it's Leah. Welcome back, or welcome if you are new, and welcome to a 24-hour readathon. I feel like I haven't filmed a 24-hour readathon for months. I have been anticipating doing one, especially as we go into the spookier season for so long. So here we are. Today we are going to be doing one. I'm also going to be joined with my best friend, who you will see in just a sec, and I have so many books that I am so excited to hopefully read in the next 24 hours. I'm not going to be doing the timer method this time around. I think I'm just going to be starting, well, we are kind of past 12 p.m, but we are going to be starting in about 5-10 minutes. It's currently 12:15, so we'll be starting near enough around 12:30, and then we'll read until about 12:30 tomorrow. Just to quickly take you through some of the books that I definitely want to try and get to. I'm not going to lie, is this very ambitious? To be honest, yeah. There are definitely 3 books that I know I'm 100% going to be getting to because I'm buddy reading them with my best friend. Those are Graveyard Shift by ML Rio. I still have not read If We Were Villains, so this will actually be my first ever ML Rio. I'm very excited. We also have A Swan's Neck on the Butcher's Block by Jenny Fagan. I have no idea what this is. It's like a horror sort of novella told through poems. I'm very intrigued. One that I don't own but I do have it on my Kindle is Nothing But the Rain. This is another very short novella. I know it is sort of dystopian, which we know I love, and yeah, those 3 are the ones that I definitely will be getting to. Some that I am hoping I could at least start are, to be honest, these 2 I'm not entirely sure, but we do have A House Across the Lake by Josh Malerman. This has been a book on my radar for years. I know they like kind of release these new editions, these new covers. As far as I'm aware, this is a horror book. It is just under 200 pages, so I feel like that would be really good for a palette. I say a palette cleanser. All of these books are horrors, all of these books are spooky. And then we have The Vet's Daughter by Barbara Combs. I've had so many people recommend me books from this author. I don't even really know the best place to start, but this is the only one that I own physically, and again, it's really short, so I'm very intrigued. People say that her books are quite strange and perfect for autumn, but again, I have absolutely no idea what any of them are about, so I'd be going into them very blind. And then last but certainly not least, 2 books that I would like to also maybe start and read in the next 24 hours are on my Kindle. One of them is Half a Soul. I cannot remember the author of this, but this is another read that I've had on my radar for a really long time. All I know is that this is like a cozy fantasy compared to Howl's Moving Castle. That is definitely an option. I know it is also fairly short. I don't think I'll finish it, but I would like to at least start it. And then the second one is also The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This I feel like would be a really good palette cleanser because it's a YA thriller sort of Criminal Minds vibe, and considering all of these are like adult horror novellas, it could be quite nice to switch up a little bit. So those are all of the books on my TBR. Do I feel like I might deviate from this? Absolutely. I am also currently reading Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, so if I want to swap it out and not do solely spooky, creepy horror reads, we could do Just for the Summer. That is my TBR. We are going to start very soon. I'm so excited. Can you guys watch my friend for a second? Welcome to our 24-hour readathon. This is Mayla. Hi. Do you want to let them know what is on your TBR?
I do. Firstly, I will be reading Graveyard Shift by ML Rio.
We're doing a buddy read.
Then I'm hoping to reread on my Kindle Carmilla. I've already read it about 2-3 years ago. Perfect atmosphere. Lesbian vampire classic. Then I want to get to Swan's Neck on the Butcher's Block by Jenny Fagan.
Another buddy read.
Nothing But the Rain, also on my Kindle. Another buddy read.
Another buddy read.
I also want to get to Dark and Drowning Tide. Given the length of it, I don't know if I will, but we'll see. And then there's another book, I can't remember what the name of it is, but it's like pumpkin spice and something.
It's always a pumpkin spice and something.
It's always. Oh, and Can't Spell Treason Without Tea, also on my Kindle.
Damn, she's reading a lot.
One can only hope.
The end. Come on guys, let's start reading, finally. So I think we're going to start with Graveyard Shift.
That's a good one to start, and it's really short.
Yeah, I don't know why we chose this one other than we saw it was about insomnia, and we thought that maybe it would be stupid for it to be the last one we read before we go to sleep, so maybe it being the first one.
It's a horror as well, so I don't know if I want to read that before bed. First of all, you take the dust jacket
Yes,
off.
sorry, I was getting too enticed.
I'm having all my books here. I said I would put my phone in another room. I did not. Oh, blanket. Oh, Chick-fil-A's on.
Not her saying she hopes the following pages provide not just a good story to suit the dead hours between midnight and morning, and we're reading it at 12, at noon, at midday.
Fuck, we picked the wrong 12.
We have 23 hours left of the readathon and we are now halfway through graveyard shift. There is a fly going around this room. If you can see it, I'm sorry.
No, you didn't. If you can see it, no, you can't.
If you can see it, no, you can't. Ayla is sat here. She's sleepy. We're both half asleep, which is not good because we've been doing this for not even an hour yet. So we're gonna go to a cafe in a second and we're gonna get some matcha.
Matcha.
And a sweet treat, maybe.
Be crazy about that.
But I'm halfway through and nothing is happening. How do you feel, lady off the camera?
I think it's got potential with the horror, but we haven't gotten to any parts there. I don't think it's necessarily boring, it's just nothing's going in.
It's true, it is going through one ear and out the other. But like, not that much is happening, and maybe that is the entire point. And as we pointed out, it is a book about insomnia and we are falling asleep. No, because it would be doing the opposite. It wouldn't be making us fall asleep if it's a book about insomnia. It would make us stay up. To be fair, this is also my first ML Rio. I've never read anything from her before, so I don't know if that is normally what her writing style is like.
It's got potential, I feel.
It does have potential, but we are halfway through and I feel like nothing's happened. We're gonna go to a cafe and hopefully wake up, and then we will probably finish this at the cafe.
I need to bring another book at the cafe.
Yeah.
What are we bringing?
I kind of want to read this
In one
after, because yeah, that's not going to take us long. I have no idea what this is about. Maybe we'll read A Swan's Neck next.
It came out this year.
Did it? I haven't seen anyone talk about it. I'm very intrigued.
I don't see anyone talk about Jenny Fagan.
True. They should.
Yeah.
You should read Hex. We saw it in the horror section and it's, I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but it's not like full-on paragraphs of text. It's more poems, but it's horror. And on the blurb it says that she converses, no, but Jenny Fagan converses with the poets of the past. Not even like a fictional protagonist.
Like Hex, when it's like the woman and...
Yeah, so I'm very intrigued. But yeah, I feel like we could read that in one sitting. We're gonna go to the coffee shop and we'll see you there. Before we get on to the rest of the readathon, I would love to take a minute to thank the sponsor of this video, Serious Readers. I very recently spoke about my Serious Light for the first time, and guys, I am obsessed with it. If you've never heard about Serious Readers before, they create high definition reading lights. I did say in my last video how picky I have always been when it comes to lighting in my room, especially reading light. I'm an ambient lighting candle sort of girl when it comes to reading at night, but my Serious Light has literally transformed my reading. I find that now I can read for longer at night without any eye strain. I can concentrate better, and that is absolutely down to my Serious Light, which has daylight wavelength technology. Daylight wavelength technology just essentially replicates the daylight spectrum. The daylight wavelength technology is definitely what makes it so easy on the eye, that and the fact that you can quite literally dim your light to however you need. You can have it as bright or as dim as you like. There is adjustable handles, and I am just utterly obsessed with it. Literally in the last week too, all of a sudden it feels like it started getting so dark so early in the UK. I literally, the second it hits 6 PM, this thing comes on. Serious lights are definitely an investment, but one that I already think is so worthwhile, and every order also comes with a 5-year warranty, which I think is amazing. And if you're curious and you would love to check out a Serious Light for yourself, I will have the link at the very top of my description, as well as my code LEAH24, which will get you £100 off of your order and free UK delivery. It is free UK delivery only. I know a lot of you who watch are from America, so unfortunately it does just cover the UK for free delivery, but you can adapt your plug for your Serious Light, whether you're in Europe or America. You can adapt it to whatever you need. I highly recommend checking out Serious Readers and their high definition lights. I am in love with mine. I cannot wait to continue using it. And of course, again, a huge thank you to Serious Readers for sponsoring this video, and let's carry on with the readathon. Guys, we're in a crisis. We've had 2 flops. 2 out of 3 of our buddy reads flops. We continued reading this in the cafe, and the whole time, well, I mean, my personal opinion, the whole time I was sat there and I was like, I don't know what's going on. And not only do I not know what's going on, it feels like nothing is kind of happening. I think I said it before that I've never read an ML Rio book before, so I don't know if that's just her writing style or not, but it didn't really work for me. I think I ended up rating it 3 stars, which kind of makes me sad because I was really hoping I would love it. But alas, all I know is that they liked Coke, the drink, Diet Coke, and M&Ms, and there were rats. Oh, period. What did you think about it?
Same. I feel like maybe I read it at the wrong time because nothing was going in. You know when you like just read and it's words.
Goes through one ear
So
and out
many
the
words
other.
on so, I don't know, it didn't stick. But I feel like I'm convinced that I've read If We Were Villains, but I don't know if I have.
I
And
thought
feel
you
like
had.
I thought I had as well. If We Were Villains was kind of the same, so I don't know.
It was like unforgettable.
Unforgettable.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Oh, so yeah, no. I don't know.
Then we went on to A Swan's Neck.
Straight
after. We
like
were not messing around. We went
Bus,
straight club, another club, another club.
No sleep.
No sleep.
And we don't get sleep.
Went straight onto this, and it was nothing like I thought it was going to be. So we found this when I was at work in the horror section, and we were like, okay, a little horror novella. Babe, it's poetry. No horror. Actually, horror is the man in this. The men in this.
It's like, it's body horror, but it's not.
It's not like supernatural scary. I don't think I'm going to rate this.
No, I didn't really either.
I mean, I do normally rate poetry, but this one feels like it's more, not only personal, but there were some poems in this that were very graphic. So would definitely say, if you're going to pick this up, read trigger warnings. It's very graphic.
I mean, read trigger warnings for any book. Little backstory. Ages ago, I posted if you like this anime, read this book. And I posted it with Attack on Titan and Poppy War, and I got drenched in the comments of not posting any of the content warning. And I'm like, well, I do get that, but also you know what triggers you. So you do your own research for all the books you read.
Period.
Thank you so much.
Say your piece, babe.
Spend myself out there. Y'all stay safe.
Am I going to remember reading this?
I already forgot it. Respectfully.
Not even an hour, babe. I don't think I would recommend it, but equally I don't think it's my sort of read to recommend. It's not the kind of poetry I like. It's not the kind of horror I like, and it was not what I was expecting, and for that I don't think I'm going to rate it. But yeah, I probably won't remember that I read it in about a month. But anyway, on to the next one. We then started Nothing But the Rain by Naomi Solomon. This is a dystopian novella. It's like 90 pages where essentially the rain, if you get touched by the rain, you lose pieces of your memory. So it's really interesting. The whole time I'm sat there like, damn, could be potential 5 stars, but right now I don't think it is potential 5 stars.
A 4.
A 4.
How many?
I don't know,
Let me tell you. I am 53 pages of the way through. You're 43, aren't you?
I am 43 pages.
I don't know how I got 10 pages ahead because I'm so slow at reading usually, but a win for the slow readers.
But yeah, halfway through it, I'm very intrigued to see where it goes, how I like it. One thing about us, we love the rain, we love a short read, and we love a dystopian. So I'm hoping that it's going to be, I mean, already I feel like it's better than the other 2 books, but we can't have 3 for 3 flops of a buddy read.
What are you planning on reading after?
I have no idea. Thank you so much for that question, Diane.
Thank you for bringing that up, thank you.
I have no idea what I'm going to read. You're going to read Bitterthorn?
I'm currently in the middle of it, yeah.
And you're liking it?
I am liking it. I don't know if I want a cozy read, like a read, you know? Either that or Conspiratorial Treason or Carmela. That's also short.
I forgot you wanted to read that.
I just want the ego boost of being able to read so much. Even if they're like this
I get
short.
that.
Guess we'll find out.
You guys will find out soon. We are off to go get noodle soup for dinner. And I'm so excited. Hi guys, it's quite late now. It's currently 10 PM and I have not done as much reading as I hoped I would have done. I don't know what it is, but I feel like today I've just been so tired and so fatigued all day that I probably filmed this on the wrong day, but I wanted to start a new book that I could at least read a little bit of the way through tonight. I can't remember if I said, but I did also start We Used to Live Here by Marcus Kruller, which is a sort of haunted house horror, and I'm really enjoying it so far, but I'll talk to you about that more tomorrow. For now, I've just started Uzumaki by Junji Ito. I love a Junji Ito, and I feel like I read one last month, but before last month I hadn't read one for like 3-4 months, and I kind of miss them. If you don't know who Junji Ito is, he is a very famous horror manga artist. I have read so many of his collections by now, but this Uzumaki is meant to be his like pride and joy, like his #1, the best one. I've had it on my TBR for years. I've been anticipating to read it for years, and honestly I only have this and Tomi left on my physical TBR, and I believe that Tomi is a lot longer than this, which is saying a lot because this is already incredibly chunky, but as I said, it's manga, so it shouldn't take me too long to get through. Am I anticipating to finish this today or even during the readathon? Probably not, because I am so tired. I'm probably just going to clock out and go to sleep so soon, but I at least wanted to make a start on this, so that's my update. I don't know how much I'm going to get through, but hopefully it will be quite a bit. Hi guys, it has been a couple of days since the readathon finished, and I obviously wanted to come on and give you a wrap up of everything that I read. I am not gonna lie, I don't know if it's because I filmed this on the wrong day or I was just having a little bit of a flare up, but I felt so fatigued the entire day. I was so exhausted that I really didn't get as much read as I did initially hope. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm disappointed with what I read, because I did still finish 3 books. Even though they were novellas, I'm still really happy that I at least finished 3. I just didn't read as much as I was hoping to, but I am already really looking forward to doing another one of these at least in October. I want to make sure that I do another sort of like spooky one like I did with this. But the 3 books that I did finish, I do think that I briefly, if I remember correctly, it has been a couple of days, I do think I told you briefly what I thought about them, what they were. Obviously I started with and I finished first Graveyard Shift by ML Rio. If you're not new here, you might know that it's been kind of an ongoing thing for the past year that I still have not read If We Were Villains. So obviously this was my first ML Rio. I went into it not really knowing what to expect. I had no idea what her writing was like, and obviously this is an incredibly short book, like just over I think 100 pages. I knew absolutely nothing about this book before going into it, other than we are following a group of insomniacs and there is a graveyard digger. And what do I know now that I finished it? Not that much more. I'm not gonna lie, this book, I'm not gonna lie, because I have nothing to compare this to. This book for me, I really enjoyed it. I did enjoy the atmosphere and I enjoyed the vibes. That was definitely what carried it most for me. But in terms of the plot, obviously this is a novella, this is a really short story, and for that I kind of want to be gripped initially from the get-go. And initially I kind of was gripped, but other than that, nothing else really happened. Nothing really happened. This is definitely a vibe over plot sort of read, which normally I love. I don't know if maybe because I was feeling so fatigued and so tired the entire day, and this is literally a book about insomniac, that it just didn't really capture my brain at the moment, but I do definitely want to give it a reread. I think on a reread I'd probably enjoy it a lot more for one reason or another, but because it's really short I definitely want to reread it at some point. But for now I think the rating that I settled on was like a 3.5 star. I'm still really intrigued to read If We Were Villains. I'm still definitely gonna read If We Were Villains, I promise. But now I'm a little bit more apprehensive, which is not what we needed. But the first book that I finished was Graveyard Shift. Then we went on to A Swan's Neck on the Butcher's Block by Jenny Fagan, and guys, I'm not gonna lie, oh my god, it was not going well. In terms of quality, we were like, oh my god, we finished 2 books in like the first 3 hours. This is going to go so well for us. In terms of ratings, not so much. I absolutely adored Hex by Jenny Fagan, but I have never read anything else from her. I've never read any of her poetry, and this, I initially found it in the horror section, so I was under the impression that it was a horror story but told through poems. I was wrong. This is not a horror. This is a poetry collection. If I had known that, I probably wouldn't have picked it up. In this, there were definitely some poems that I liked and I thought were quite beautiful, but in terms of a solid collection, none of them really were quite groundbreaking to me. There were definitely some heavier ones in this, some really graphic ones in this. There was one very graphic one that we were reading and we were like, okay, this is what they mean by horror. It wasn't what I was expecting. It wasn't horror per se, and I genuinely wouldn't even know what rating to give it, so I've decided not to rate it. But the reading experience wasn't that great for me, unfortunately, but at least I finished a book. And then the last book that I fully finished, I read on my Kindle, and that is Nothing But the Rain. I had this on my radar for so long. I kind of knew I wanted to read it in a 24-hour readathon because it is, again, a novella, another sort of horror novella, but equally a little bit dystopian. In this book, it just essentially never stops raining, but the rain just makes you lose your memory. Like, if you were caught in the rain, you lose pieces of your memory, and not necessarily your newest memories, but any memories at any point in your life. And I thought that that was so fascinating, to the point that even when it came to these characters showering, for example, like, they would lose some of their memories, and I thought that that was really interesting. And for that, I ended up rating it, I think, 3.75. I gave it a 4 on Goodreads. It was really good. The atmosphere, again, absolutely carried it. It's another one that I would definitely want to reread, solely because it is a short story and I did really enjoy it. That one I would definitely recommend for the autumn. And then when I came back into my room, I wanted a physical book, but I didn't really know what I wanted. I didn't really want to start a new novel because I had just started one on my Kindle. I was a little bit conflicted, and so I just decided to pick up a Junji Ito, and I picked up Uzumaki. I have had this on my shelf for years. I'm not gonna lie, this is probably one of the first Junji Itos I bought and just never read, because I knew that this was meant to be like his best work, and from the sheer size of it, I was terrified. I knew that people said that this was one of his scariest, and obviously this is like his most popular, so I didn't really know. I was a bit scared. I ended up getting about 125 pages of the way through, and so far this is one of the most terrifying Junji Itos I have ever read. His mind is equally so disturbing, and it appalls me every time, but I'm always so in awe. It is so unique, and everything shocks me, and everything is just so outlandish, but in the best way. This entire collection is solely about spirals, and I swear to God, every time, like in my real life, I look around my room or I look around like anywhere and I notice all of the spirals, and I can't look at any of it the same anymore. So thanks, Junji Ito. I'm really excited to carry on with this. I haven't actually picked it up since the readathon has ended either, so this one is one that I'm definitely going to focus on throughout the month of October, and I can't wait. So terrified. And then last but certainly not least, the novel that I then started on my Kindle was We Used to Live Here by Marcus Kluwer. I am still currently reading this, and guys, I'm loving it. When it came to the end of the readathon, I think I was about 30% of the way through, so I only got 30% of the way through. I have since carried on reading it, and I cannot stop reading, but equally I'm like trying to savor it as much as possible. All I know about this is that it is a haunted house story, and I saw quite a couple of people raving about it, reading it. A lot of people were loving it, and I love a haunted house story. I love a sentient house story, and this so far is living up to all of that hype for me, and absolutely living up to what I was expecting from it. Again, I haven't finished it, so you will get a review at the end of the month in October for my wrap up, but I'm absolutely loving it so far. I read up to 30% in the readathon. So yeah, those were all of the books that I read throughout the readathon. As I said, I didn't read as much as I was hoping to, but I'm still really happy with how much I read. I still finished 3 books. Like, my Goodreads goal is looking good. I'm definitely excited to do another one this month, and obviously Mayla was involved. My best friend was involved, which was also so fun because that was her first ever 24-hour readathon, and I'm not gonna lie, she did a lot better than me, and we love to see it. But yeah, that marks the end of this video. If you have read any of the books that I also read in this video, please let me know what you thought about them, whether you liked them or you disliked them. Let me know of any book that you want to read in October. Equally, if you watched until the end of the video and you don't really know what to comment any horror emoji, because we essentially just read horror books. And as always, thank you so much for being here and for spending some time with me. I really hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you again very soon in another video.